क्या इसमें ना मुझे अपना वो नाम चेंज करते कहाँ से करते हैं यार। हाँ पार्टिसिपेंट्स में जाके हाँ बोलो।
तुम्ही इथे सांगता का बस
होईल का माझं म्हणजे व्यवस्थित?
इथून बोला ना याच्यावर
हा मग त्याच्यावरून बोलते ना.
बघू ना आता कसं काय
चालूच नाही होत ना, म्हणून मी घरी जाते.
हेलो सर.
हाँ हेलो मैम.
ये सर मैम ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं.
नीतू मैम क्या?
हेलो प्रियंका मैडम.
हेलो. यस मैम. यस मैम. यस मैम.
मैडम होस्ट किसको बनाना है?
मैम मेरे को बना दीजिए. यस मैम.
आपको बनाना. ओके ओके.
यस मैम. यस मैम. और मैम नीतू मैम आ रहे हैं?
नीतू मैडम का पता नहीं, एक्चुअली मैं आज घर पे हूँ.
ओके मैम.
हाँ.
ओके मैम.
ओके.
ओके.
उनको कॉल करके पूछ लीजिए.
यस मैम. सर आ रहे हैं क्या? मैम आ रहे हैं?
हाँ मैम मैं जा रहा हूँ, पूछने जा रहा हूँ. अभी खत्म हुआ है, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. ओके एक मिनट.
ओके सर. ओके सर. जी सर.
मैडम हेलो प्रियंका मैडम.
यस मैम. हेलो मैम.
किसी पार्टिसिपेंट का मैसेज आया है कि 12:45 तक ज्वाइन करेंगे तो चलेगा क्या? उनका लेक्चर्स है.
ओके मैम चलेगा.
सपना गुप्ता करके है.
ओके मैम. तो फिर मैं उनका ना नंबर ले लेती हूँ. ये उनका कौन सा नंबर का प्रेजेंटेशन है, मैं वो एक चेक कर लेती हूँ.
हाँ हाँ. ओके.
ओके मैम. Students will be starting with the session soon. Sir, Avinash sir.
हाँ यस मैम.
Yes sir.
नाही मॅडम दुसरे करतायत.
प्रियंका मैडम.
Yes sir.
कविता मैडम is there. नीतू मैडम is
Okay. Okay sir. Okay sir. Okay students.
Madam, you can start.
Okay sir. Students just wait for a minute. We'll start with the session soon. Sir, योगिता मैम ने ज्वाइन नहीं किया है ना सर?
Yes madam.
Okay. Okay.
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
Yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. Ma'am just a minute, huh? मैम बच्चे सब तक ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, so we can wait for a minute.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Students, just wait for a minute. We'll start. We'll start with the session 2.
वो ना प्रोजेक्ट मिलेगा उसमें अभी वो सुनूं मैं कि ये सब प्रोजेक्ट कराई हुए हैं कितने हो गए 16
मैम स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं क्या?
तुम्हारे कोऑर्डिनेटर नहीं है?
एक मिनट मैसेज पुट कर दो मैं ग्रुप में सारे, तो स्टूडेंट ज्वाइन कर लेंगे। उनको अब तक मैसेज नहीं गया है। मैम स्क्रीन विजिबल है? हेलो मैम। मैम इज द स्क्रीन विजिबल?
Yes, madam.
हम
Start करें
Okay.
मैडम?
Yes ma'am, please ma'am.
Okay. Good morning all. This is Yogita Chaudhary from CSIT department on behalf of Bharat Friends Association, Bharat College of Arts and Commerce. Welcomes you all. I welcome our in charge principal, Dr. Neetu Kapoor madam, in her absentia, and our staff secretary and IQSC coordinator, Dr. Savita Punjabi madam, in her absentia. I also welcome Chairperson of Bharat Parents Association, Bharat Sarupa sir, in his absentia. We are all gathered here for PPT presentation competition organized by Science Association under Digital India Week. When the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear. We are proud to have such person. So I now request our staff secretary and IQC coordinator to encourage the students. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Yogita madam. Thank you, Science Association, for arranging such competition of Digital India. Good afternoon, DIs and all my dear participants from various colleges. It is really a matter of great pleasure that you people have taken the guts to participate. Actually, we all know that once you take the decision to participate, you become winner at that point itself. So I request you all, दुनिया सुने न सुने, अपने लिए तालियां बजाओ क्योंकि तुम लोगों ने participate किया, मतलब you are the winners. You proved yourself. तो अपने लिए तालियां बजाओ, अपने आप को pat करो on the back that you have become the winner today. Now, as far as your PPT competition is concerned, certain tips that has been requested by the committee to be told to you is your PPT should not be too exhaustive. It is just the PowerPoint to support your presentation. Don't make it a presentation. Let it be a support, not a substitute for you. You have to make a strong presentation. Just use bullet points to show, or the images to show what you want to speak out. Be clear, be confident, and be ready for the question answers. That is normally avoided by the participants, because still you don't answer the questions, your confidence level will be shaken. You cannot prove yourself. So be ready, think over what type of questions the audience would like to ask from you, and then be prepared for the answers. So that was all from my side. I wish you all the very best. Let the decision of winning be taken by the judges, but you try the best and the best will come out of it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yogita madam. Thank you, Science Association.
Thank you, madam. Now I request today's activity in charge, Ms. Priyanka Singh, to take over the charge. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome to all the students. Welcome to all the participants. So myself, Priyanka Singh, as an in charge of today's competition, I'll be hosting your event. So before actually beginning with the session, let me add few words. When we talk about the root, right? So root gives the strength to the plant, but it's not always the root who gives the strength to the plant. It's the sunlight, it's the essential materials, essential minerals who help in the growth of the plant, right? So these sentences were for you. The participants who will be presenting, the presenters, they are the root for the program. And next we have the audience. Audience, you all are the photosynthesis for us. So please be with us till the end of the session and encourage the participants and also gain the knowledge from this. So before wasting much of the time, let's start with the session. Before starting with the session, let's take, ma'am is there, Hello, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, very good morning, madam.
Good morning. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to the session, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please address the students for this competition.
First, I think I need to introduce myself.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Students, so here we have the backbone of any event, the backbone of any institution is always a leader, right? So leader, what is actually a leader? A leader is the one who always stands with us. The person who always stands with us, not even standing in front of others, that means the person who never shows the name, but is always a backbone, who always stands with us in any event and who is available throughout the day, throughout the session. Even a person who encourages us is the real leader. So I welcome our in-charge principal, Dr. Neetu Kapoor, ma'am, to please address the audience. Over to you, ma'am.
Very thank you, Priyanka, madam. It's a pleasure being here today. First of all, I'm very sorry and I regret my inconvenience to join the inaugural program also and later on all other programs, but definitely today's pleasure being the part of your PPT presentation program. I would just say that go beyond your limits. Don't decide your limits. Don't set your limits. Go beyond it. Do something which you have never thought that you will be able to do it. अगर आपने कभी सोचा है कि आप ये दीवार नहीं पार कर सकते तो do that. This is an opportunity to do what you have never thought of. With this, I would just say, present in such a manner that the person on the other side feels that the presenter is knowledgeable, knows more about what actually he should have known. Be well spoken, be fearless, because online platform is something where no one knows who is speaking on the other side. No one knows about you. So take that advantage that you are the boss. No one is in front of you. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself in such a manner that you are able to convince yourself that your presentation is the best presentation. So I wish all the participants a very best. Just one message, go beyond what you can do. And I think the day will be yours and you'll be the winner. So all the best once again, Priyanka madam, thank you very much for Actually, I joined late. That was my mistake. So you were not aware. So thank you for introducing me and giving me this opportunity to talk. I hope that in future, definitely we'll have a better time to spend together on Digital India Week. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining from a busy schedule, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am was busy with more inauguration events. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us and giving your precious time. Okay, students, please make sure कीजिए जो मैम ने define किया है, you are paying attention towards that. It's the online platform. So we have beneficial of online platform. As the name also suggests, we have digital. So in the today's world, digital means a great advantage for also, it is also a great advantage, and for enhancing our knowledge, it's the best platform. So before wasting much of the time, let's start with the session. So here we have some rules for your presentation that was already been defined. The total time for the presentation will be for 5 minutes, including the conclusion. You won't be getting extra time for presenting the conclusion. So make sure you have just 5 minutes for conclusion. The judging criteria will be depending upon the creativity, the content you have been added, the graph and the chart you have been included. I'm calling the students with their ID. Okay, so I hope students have joined with their IDs, not with their names. Okay, the participants. Okay, so let's start with the session. We are starting with the first presentation. The first presenter of the today's event will begin with the session within 30 seconds. So the first presenter, please be ready with your presentation. I'll be sharing the screen. You just need to explain your topic. Okay, so you won't be allowed to share the PPT, but I'll be sharing your presentation. You just need to unmute yourself. Okay, then you can start presenting yourself. Okay, so we'll start with our presentation. We'll wait for 30 seconds. First presenter. Yes, we have PBC0. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're ready, right?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible,
Okay.
ma'am?
Yes, Vasa, you're perfectly audible.
Thank you, ma'am.
So it will be okay if I'll be just sharing the screen. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Should I start, ma'am?
Yes, Vasa. Please go for it.
Okay. So first of all, good afternoon to one and all present here. And my name is Nahishi. And I'm going to present a presentation PPT on the topic population threat for growth. Currently, rising population is the greatest threat to the sustainable development in our country and globally, and we all are aware of its consequences. Research have shown that around 11.5 billion people will be living on the planet by the year 2100. Till year 1978, living world's population was 1 billion, and now currently it has grown to 7.4 billion, indicating that growing threats in future are increasing. It is estimated that every day we add 2,27,000 more people to the planet and is growing by 15 million per year. Now I would like to move on to the next slide. Ma'am, next slide.
Yes, it's getting loaded.
Yeah, now you must be thinking it's growing. So what's the problem? Why it is a threat? So following are the reasons that it's causing harm to the environment and human life itself. It causes shortage of food supply and natural resources are depletion. There is a shortage of water and wide collapse in our ecosystem. Population has increased with an increase in global heating day by day, causing biodiversity loss, and people are not able to save much and invest much. Also causing negative impact on our per capita income growth of our country, and with the biggest threats it causing like poverty, deforestation and climate change. So do we have any solutions to these problems? Let's move on to next slide. Ma'am, next slide. So we have the solutions of these problems, like, so we should give access to the education and good reproductive health care to everyone. We should invent new equipment that are eco-friendly in nature. Water management should be done, and we should grow more plants for extra farming. We should more focus on advancing women's rights and alleviating poverty by building vast programs in our country. Next slide, please.
Number 1, 12 hours, 22 minutes, no local pause.
Sorry, anyone is speaking in the background.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to continue with my further slide that we should help in promoting responsible parenthood and enhancing global justice. Everyone should get freedom to pursue education and a good career with economic independence and good health care. Injustice such as child marriage and gender-based violence should be ended. By doing so, we can stop growing population being threat. Let's take a step to avoid overpopulation on our individual level, on global level and community level. Let's help Earth and biodiversity. They will help us to live. I would like to end with a quote that it doesn't matter how big you do. You should start with the small steps you take every day. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Very good, Nahid. Very good, Nahid. You have presented very well. The points that you have been
Thank
taken
you,
for defining the solution, that was absolutely perfect. Criticizing, it's always the solution that matters. So well done, Richa, well done. You have explained very, very nicely. Okay,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. So I would like to call the second participant of today's event, that is Rishabh. PPT C102. Your serial number, Rishabh, you there? I think Rishabh haven't joined here. Okay, so we have the next participant. We have Sheikh Nushi.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, Bharat, you're perfectly audible. Just give me a minute so that I can start with your slides, huh? But just give me a minute. Yes, Bharat, this is yours, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Bharat, please go for it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sheikh Noshin from Vivekananda Education Society, College of Arts, Science and Commerce. Innovation is the calling card of the future. So the topic which I have selected to present is driverless cars, a new reality. Ma'am, change the slide. The first self-sufficient and truly driverless cars appeared in the 1980s. The driverless cars are also known as autonomous cars. The main goal is to be able to operate a car like a human driver. The only catch is that there's no driver behind the seat. Sounds scary, right? It can steer itself while looking out for obstacles. It can accelerate itself to the correct speed limit. It can stop and go ahead by itself based on any traffic conditions. Just because it has 5 components, that is computer vision, sensor fusion, localization, path planning and control. So moving further, just like every coin has 2 sides, every innovation has advantages as well as disadvantages. So the first advantage is eliminates risk of human error. The biggest advantage of these driverless cars is that the road accidents has been reducing to a greater extent, which directly reduces the risk of human error. Second, disabilities would no longer be a factor. Due to accidents, people become blind, deaf, they even lost their lives. In this case, this is very beneficial as there will be no such factor left. Increased safety. Safety has been increased to a greater extent as the major cause is accident, which will be no more left. The next side is disadvantages. High cost of the vehicle. The major disadvantage is that the cost of the driverless cars is not affordable to everyone. Only high class peoples which have their income to a greater extent can afford these driverless cars. Urban planning changes necessary. The infrastructure planning will be changed if India adopts these driverless cars. The cost of maintenance required will be very huge. Impact on economy. Driverless cars will reduce the gross domestic product of a country because drivers will lose their job and unemployment will be more increasing. Coming to the conclusion, the driverless cars technology improves vehicle stability, which helps to minimize loss of control. Driverless cars are designed to minimize accidents by addressing the main cause of collision, driving error, distraction, and drowsiness. It's not that we use technology, we live technology. With this, I came to an end and I would like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nausheen. You presented very well, and specifically the conclusion part, basically advantages and disadvantages including too. There we have, you have stated many points, including economy, the financial situation, the social situations, and you have really presented very well. And the voice modulation you have taken was awesome. Awesome, Nausheen.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're welcome. So over to the next, we have participant number 10.
Next participants, PPC.
We have 106, that is Kanika.
Yes, ma'am. I'm audible.
Yes, Basha. Yes, Basha, you are absolutely audible. Can we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just give me a minute, huh? Just give me a minute. Yes, this is your PPT, right? Yes, please start.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, Beta. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic for today's presentation is driverless car. Ma'am, next slide. Okay. सबसे पहले what is driverless cars? Driverless car होती क्या है? It is a vehicle that can drive itself from one point to another point without a driver. जैसे कि driverless car का इसका नाम ही इसका मीनिंग डिफाइन कर रहा है कि driverless car होती क्या है, जो कि बिना ड्राइवर के चलती है. ये खुद ही ड्राइव कर, मतलब कि इसमें ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी होती है कि ये कार एक जगह से खुद ही जा सकती है. इसमें एक ऑटो पायलट नाम का सिस्टम होता है. Can steer, which the driverless car can steer itself. मतलब कि ये क्या कर सकती है, अपने डायरेक्शंस को खुद ही कंट्रोल कर सकती है. कैन एक्सेलरेट इटसेल्फ, मतलब ये अपनी स्पीड को भी खुद ही कंट्रोल कर सकती है. कैन गो एंड स्टॉप इटसेल्फ. ड्राइवरलेस कार को सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक ह्यूमन इनपुट रिक्वायर होता है. जैसे कंप्यूटर को ह्यूमन इनपुट की जरूरत होती है, वैसे ही ड्राइवरलेस कार को ह्यूमन इनपुट की जरूरत होती है. अब ये वर्क कैसे करती है? इट इज कंट्रोल्ड बाय अ कंप्यूटर. It is totally based on the technology, so obviously it is controlled by a computer. It require input or instructions from a human. सिर्फ और सिर्फ ड्राइवरलेस कार को एक ह्यूमन इंस्ट्रक्शन की जरूरत होती है. अगर ह्यूमन इंस्ट्रक्शन राइट देगा तभी ये वर्क भी अच्छे से करेगी. आफ्टर गिविंग इनपुट और इंस्ट्रक्शन इट विल ड्राइव ऑटोमेटिकली. बस हमें क्या करना है, हमें सिर्फ इंस्ट्रक्शंस देनी है, उसके बाद ये कार खुद ब खुद काम करेगी. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज मैम. अब थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में और जानते हैं कि ड्राइवरलेस कार वर्क कैसे करती है. इसमें कौन कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजीज इसमें इंक्लूड की जा गई हैं, जैसे कि एंटी लॉक ब्रेक्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक स्टेबिलिटी कंट्रोल, क्रूज कंट्रोल, इंफ्रारेड कैमरा, लिडार, लाइट डिटेक्शन एंड रेंजिंग, जिसको इसका हार्ट ऑफ द कार भी बोला जाता है, जो क्या करता है, हमें 360 डिग्री इमेज, कार के जो सराउंडिंग की 360 डिग्री इमेज होती है वो हमें प्रोवाइड करा के चलता है. Position estimator, distance sensor, aerial and computer cruise control, which keeps car at a constant speed. So we can say that this car combines a variety of sensors to perceive their surrounding, such as radar, sonar, GPS, odometry, and initial measurement units. इस कार के बोनेट में 3 चीजें मेन इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं: गूगल मैप, हार्डवेयर सेंसर एंड आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, जो इस काम को स्मूथली वर्क करने में हेल्प करती हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज मैम। ओके, जैसे कि हर कॉइन के 2 पहलू होते हैं, अगर टेक्नोलॉजी उसके कुछ अच्छे बेनिफिट्स भी होंगे, उसके कुछ नुकसान भी होंगे। तो इसके एडवांटेजेस हैं: मैनेजिंग ट्रैफिक फ्लो टू इंक्रीज रोड कैपेसिटी, ये ड्राइवरलेस कार खुद ही ट्रैफिक के फ्लो को मैनेज करके चलती है। टू अवॉइड एक्सीडेंट, जैसे कि हम सब जानते हैं ड्राइवर एरर इज द मोस्ट कॉमन कॉज ऑफ ट्रैफिक एक्सीडेंट, तो ये उसको भी अवॉइड करके चलती है। वेरी हेल्पफुल टू फिजिकल हैंडीकैप्ड पीपल, अब फिजिकली हैंडीकैप्ड पीपल को किसी के भी ऊपर डिपेंड होने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो भी इसके इस्तेमाल से एक जगह से दूसरी जगह आसानी से जा सकते हैं। यूजफुल टू अवर एनवायरनमेंट, टेक्नोलॉजी का एरा है, मॉडर्न एरा है, उसके मुताबिक ये हमारे एनवायरनमेंट के लिए काफी यूजफुल है। रिलीविंग व्हीकल ऑक्यूपेंट्स फ्रॉम ड्राइविंग अलाउ देम टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन अनदर टास्क और टू रेस्ट ड्यूरिंग देयर जर्नी। जैसे कि क्या होता है, हम कार चलाते समय कभी फोन पे लग जाते हैं, कभी एंटरटेनमेंट ढूंढते हैं, कभी आसपास देखते हैं, जिसकी वजह से एक्सीडेंट्स हो जाते हैं। बट इस कार की वजह से ये ड्राइवर लेस कार है, तो खुद ब खुद काम करेगी, तो हम इसके अलावा और टास्क पर भी फोकस कर पाएंगे, जिसकी वजह से एक्सीडेंट चांसेस कम हो जाते हैं। यूजफुल टू सीनियर सिटीजन, सेम एज फिजिकल हैंडीकैप पर्सन की तरह सीनियर सिटीजन को भी किसी के ऊपर डिपेंड रहने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, वो भी खुद ब खुद ही ड्राइवरलेस कार की मदद से एक जगह से दूसरी जगह आसानी से जा सकते हैं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक ह्यूमन इनपुट रिक्वायर्ड होती है। सेम एडवांटेजेस के बाद हर टेक्नोलॉजी के कुछ डिसएडवांटेजेस भी होते हैं। दिस व्हीकल इज यूजिंग इंटरनेट व्हिच इज हैव लेस सिक्योरिटी फ्रॉम हैकर्स, इंटरनेट है, टेक्नोलॉजी है, तो उसका गलत यूज करने वाले हैकर्स भी होंगे, तो ये इसकी सबसे बड़ी डिसएडवांटेज है। हैकर्स कैन चेंज द रूट व्हिच इज प्लॉटेड इन द सिस्टम एंड आल्सो स्विच ऑफ ऑन द रोड। हैकर्स क्या कर सकते हैं, गलत टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, जिसकी वजह से वो जो रूट जो ह्यूमन डिसाइड करके चलता है उसको गलत मतलब मैनिपुलेट कर सकते हैं, चेंज कर सकते हैं। In case of failure of main sensor and backup sensor, the vehicle can create a chance of accident. अगर ये टेक्नोलॉजी काम करना बंद कर दे, उसकी वजह से एक्सीडेंट के चांसेस ज्यादा हो जाते हैं। इट इज ट्रू फॉर अस, इसकी स्पीड सिर्फ और सिर्फ 63 किलोमीटर पर आवर है, जो कि हमारे यूथ के लिए, हमारी एज के हिसाब से बहुत ही स्लो है। सो इन द एंड वी कैन से दैट कि अगर किस चीज के बेनिफिट्स हैं तो उसके नुकसान भी है, वो हमारे हाथ में है कि हमने टेक्नोलॉजी कैसे यूज करनी है। थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
Thank you, beta. Thank you so much. Can I ask you from which field do you belong to? From BMS or from, yes?
Sorry ma'am, can you repeat?
Yes. Can I ask you from which field do you belong to? Basically from commerce or science?
Ma'am,
From which field?
Commerce.
Commerce. It was absolutely great, bacha. The reason is you are belonging from a commerce background and what you have presented was of science background. It was absolutely perfect. It was outstanding, but it was outstanding. Seriously, the words that you have been used and many more things. So I'm from IT and CS background, so I know what it means and I can understand what you have searched through this.
I think मैम मैंने बायलैंग्वेज यूज किया है, तो मुझे लगता है ये सबसे अच्छा है कि
जी हम वही कहने वाले थे। जब आप स्टेज पे रहते हैं, स्टेज आपका रहता है, जरूरी नहीं है। लैंग्वेज इज जस्ट अ मीडियम, राइट? ये हमें तो एक मीडियम प्रोवाइड कर रहा है बात करने के लिए। It was awesome, Bhatta. It was awesome. It was just an awesome.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me opportunity.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. Okay, so moving further, we don't have 107 participants. The next we have 108, Rudha. Right? Ridha. I'm so sorry.
Yes,
Ridha, you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Bhatta, you're perfectly audible. Just give me few seconds now.
Okay.
Please. Right? This is your PPT, right, Bhatta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Rita Dange, and I'm from Model College, Dombivli. Today, my presentation topic is population, asset, or threat to growth. As you all know, world's population is the total number of humans currently living, and recently in March 2020, it was estimated that the number has reached to 7,800,000,000. Ma'am, next slide, please. Population is a dynamic field. There has been significant changes in birth rates and the population trajectories of countries and continents in recent years. Global population is still growing and however is most likely to continue growing for the rest of the century unless we take any certain actions. Population growth rates are always high in the early stages of development because of the demographic factors. Ma'am, next slide, please. Okay. Fertility rates and population. So as you all know, fertility rates play a very major role in increasing population. Broadly speaking, number of children a woman is likely to have in her lifetime gives an indication of how family size is changing. In particular, where birth rates have recently been high, when babies are born in the period that reach childbearing age, they increase number of families, even though the size of their families is smaller in the previous generation. And this is called as demographic momentum. Impact of changes in fertility normally take many decades to be reflected in population. Ma'am, next slide, please. It is important to remember that while population growth is highest in global south and relatively low in most parts of the global north, consumption, resource use, and carbon emissions are far greater in richest parts of the world. That means that global environmental impact of each individual in wealthy countries is far higher than in poor countries. Size of families and overall population matters there too. There is a strong link between increased level of education for females and lower fertility rates. The higher the level of women's educational attainment, the fewer number of children she is likely to bear. I would like to conclude by saying that rapid population growth is detrimental to achieving economic and social progress and sustainable management of the natural resource base. We can do some solutions to prevent overpopulation, that is, make modern contraception legal, free, and available everywhere, even in the remote areas, improve healthcare to reduce infant and child mortality, restrict child marriage, and raise the legal age of marriage, that is minimum 18 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Veda. You have presented absolutely well. The topics that you have included was recently the hot topic, which is being implemented by many states, right? We have many policies that have been launched by Uttar Pradesh government for maintaining the fertility rate and
Yes.
so it was absolutely perfect that you have actually looking onto the real topic and you have presented the same topic. It was absolutely perfect. Yeah, well done,
Thank
Veda. Well done. Okay, so moving towards the next, we are the next participant, serial number 109, that is Sapna. Sapna?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Veda. Can we start?
Ma'am, my name is Shriya Malkar.
Okay, so here I have written Sapna. Okay, just a minute, huh, Veda? Okay. That has been a problem. Okay, just a minute, huh? 109, no?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, 109 is Shreya. Yes. Please start.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Shriya Malkar, and I am in first year B.Pharm at Dr. H. Hiranandani College. Today, I'll be presenting on the topic population and asset or threat. What do you mean by a population? What do you mean by the term population? Population is a distinct group of individuals, whether that group comprises of a people living in a nation or a group who pursue a common characteristic. Now, why do we see population as a threat? The the rate by which our planet Earth is growing, that is approx 50 million people per year, and by 2100 there will be approx 11.5 billion people on this planet. Today 40% of the people are under the age of 20. Ma'am, can you please stop at this slide?
Yes, yes, yes.
So as there are a number of people living on this planet, it will cause, as the human are a part of the ecosystem, are a component of the ecosystem and not the entire ecosystem. If one component of the ecosystem grows to such an extent, the rest of the ecosystem is surely to collapse, and it will increase the consumption of natural resources, which will surely deplete as a one component will consume at such a great extent. Increasing food insecurity, as we know, we still we are still in a pandemic, and still there is increased hunger in more than 10 years than what is found today. Also, as the number of people increase, we come in contact with the nature very much, as we need space to live. So there will be deforestation, due to which we'll come in contact with the micro organisms, which will lead to the transmission of different virus, and we are facing one of it now. So this will lead to many much dangerous new technologies, as currently the 40% people today are below the age of 20, and almost 85% of the people are living in least developed countries, including Afghanistan, Uganda, and Burkina Faso, and they will triple over the next 50 years. So if we just control the population right now, we'll see to it that the will not be able to uh, see the destruction further. Now, why should we see the growing population as an asset? Investment in human capital formation, as it is currently not possible, as there are only a few developed countries. But if we try to implement currently, then it will be more of profitable to the upcoming future if we start to improvise these points currently. So the next is improvisation of healthcare facilities. If there is a lot of population, we can surely have to develop such facilities to help us. Modernization of agriculture and spending of resources on education, development of infrastructure, and promoting urbanization. These all points have to be taken under by the government and policies, so that we can see population as an asset if we are facing this. But it is not that possible to be implemented when we have such a huge population in front of us. Ma'am, next slide. Conclusion. So what I conclude here is that the rapid population growth is always a detrimental to achieve economic and social progress. It is not possible because we don't have that much of asset, as we see, because we have more developing countries and least developing countries at present. So we cannot really implement such programs. So the only possible way is to put forward policies and programs that influence education and which control the which help the people and let them know that family planning is important, so that we don't come to a stage where we can't where we can't find any asset to help us. The human resources development programs are strongly synergistic, that we need good infrastructure, we need good healthcare facilities, we need uh, more education to be accessible to each part of the society. So these all components are synergistic and correlated, such a way that if we just start creating awareness at this point, will at some stage will be able to uh, control the population, so that we don't reach to a stage where we can't do anything and we'll face problems. So the broad based if improvement in human resource development that requires orienting policies and financial resources to focus on delivery systems that respond to the critical needs of the majority of the population, including the poor. Right now, we are facing food insecurity at such a strong, at such a huge extent because of the ongoing pandemic and the lockdown, which we can't exceed. So, if we promote awareness and give access to people for to methods of contraception, we can surely see to it that we don't face such a problem in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Vita. The best part of your presentation was the content we have been added. That is just the heading you has been specified. That is the first and the basic most important thing. Your PPT should have less words, and the presentation should specify more about it. It was perfect, Vita. The PPT that has been made and the animation you have absolutely used. We can see the animation you have used, the shadows and all. It is awesome. Thank you, Vacha. Okay, so moving towards the next participant, Sumit, 112, right? Sumit, am I audible? But am I audible? I hope I am audible. योगिता मैम आवाज आ रही है ना? बच्चे की आवाज नहीं आ रही है ना? बच्चे की आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Sumit, I think your mic has some kind of issue, but you're not audible. Students, I hope Sumit, we are going. Will it be okay? आप दूसरे डिवाइस से कनेक्ट करें, या फिर आई थिंक आपने जब ज्वाइन किया है ना तो आपको कोई कॉल या डिस्टर्बेंस आ गया रहेगा, आप रीज्वाइन कर लीजिए. ठीक है, आप प्लीज रीज्वाइन कर लीजिए. आप लोग को सुनाई दे रहा है? इनकी आवाज सुनाई दे रही नहीं आ रही है ना आवाज इनकी?
No, ma'am.
नो. ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू. सुमित, प्लीज आप रीज्वाइन कर लीजिए. ओके, सो okay, Sumit, please rejoin. Next we have Anupriya, 113.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Bacha. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just give me a few seconds. Huh? Just give me a few seconds. This is yours?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please go for it.
Hello, everyone. All my dear friends and also my dear elders. Here is Anupriya starting with the presentation on population. Population comes under human geography of studying people. The factors that affects population are growth rate, sex ratio, literacy,
age composition, and health indicators. Ma'am, second slide. Let's get started with the assets of population. Population, is usually seems as a crisis, but even the broken clock shows the right time twice a day. So even if we are facing the problem of population, we have some of the benefits of population. They are like able manforce, more the human resources, which leads to faster the work. We have many people, so diversity will eventually exist. Young generation uses their creative minds in skill enhancement. As the more population increases, more the business opportunity increases too. Second slide, ma'am. Next slide. Third one. As we know, there are few things in the world that do not have two-phase implication. So here are the threats of the population. More the people-related problems that are pandemic, pollution increases, and as this saying goes, too many cooks spoils the growth. Due to competition, no employment, less employment actually, and more poverty, food scarcity increases in our country. Ma'am, next one. The solution to this isn't easy, but government have tried some. Recently, UP government have made government employee to limit two child, or else they will be banned from the government benefits. China has one child policy, and Pakistan also have claimed that they will make their fertility rate up to 2.8 births per woman by 2025. Let's hope our best, but this will eventually lower the birth rate, and that will result in lowering of population. And next is my conclusion. The conclusion to this to this problem of population is every cloud has its silver linings. It's up to us whether we see the positive point and make them use in progressing our country, or cry over the spilled milk. We can make a young generation more and more educated, which would create that creative mind, giving us more and more technology and more comfortable life. Equality of gender is one of the major issues faces in developing countries like India. Due to inequality, people tend to wish for a boy over a girl. If they were blessed with a girl, they try for a boy again, which leads a reason to increase population. Both are equally important, and we need more educated people to understand this phenomena. I'm much obliged of you lending your ears to me until the very end. Thank you, all of you. Here I end my presentation.
Thank you, Veda. Your presentation was absolutely awesome. The points that have been included was not over related to single government. You have included many government policies, and even India is planning for the same. If I'm not wrong, we have 2.7 fertility rate right now, and they are planning for 1.5 or 1.6 by around 2030. This was defined in the latest newspaper. Okay, so
Yes,
it was
we started the first initiation by doing this to government employees.
Yes,
Thank you,
exactly. You're most welcome. And China is taking over their one child policy towards 2 to 3 child policy because they are lacking the youngsters population. So they are modifying their policies. Well, your PPT was awesome. And the most liking part of the PPT was the last part, that was conclusion. Pictures specify much more than the words. You have showed it. Actually, you have showed it. It is awesome. It's awesome. That is a conclusion part. Okay, so you're welcome. So moving towards the next, we have Isha.
Yes, ma'am.
Beta, are you ready? Can we start the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right? Please go for it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isha Kapoor from Bharat College of Arts and Commerce, class SYBMS. My topic name is Driverless Car, New Reality. It is a project by Google that involves developing technology for the driverless car. This project led by Google engineer Sebastian Thrun, who is director of Stanford Artificial Intelligence and co-inventor of Google Street View. Driverless car is also known as self-driving car, autonomous vehicle, robocar. It is a vehicle that can drive itself from one point to another point without driver. In other words, car with an autopilot system. It can steer itself, it can accelerate itself, it can go and stop itself. Ma'am, next slide. Let us know about its history. First driverless car proposed by General Motors in 1939 in New York. In 1925, Hordina Lab discovered radio-controlled driverless car. Ma'am, next slide. Reason behind the making. Driver error is the most common cause of road accident. Nearly 1.25 million people die in road accident each year. That is one person killed every 25 seconds. Using cell phone during driving, drink and driving, entertainment system are the reason of road accident. So to solve this all problem, driverless car is useful for us, and this is reason behind making it. Let us know about how it works. It controlled by computer. It requires input or instruction from human. After giving input or instruction, it will drive automatically. Sensor used leader. Leader is the eye of Google car. It is the heart of system, light detection and tracking. Official remote sensing technology, scanning distance of 60 meters, road line markers and stop line with an accuracy of 2 inches. Video camera. Current scenario, 6 Google video camera position. Current scenario, 6 Google driverless car manufactured, 5 Toyota Prius, 1 Audi. Nevada is first state to allow driverless vehicle can be legally operated on public road. Advantages, reduce road accident, reduce journey time, eliminating of driving licenses, automatic parking, environment friendly and less population. Thank you.
Thank you, Vita. You were absolutely conscious about your constraints. While presenting, you were absolutely conscious. The best, I mean, what I have seen was, if I have slided over to a next slide now, you were too conscious about that. That means you were not reading from any kind of book, you were presenting yourself. It was awesome, Bacha. It was awesome. As I know, belonging presenting a different topic that is from a different team. It is it is an kind of challenge, so you have accepted it, and what you have presented was absolutely perfect. It was, you have included that point on which multiple governments, they are still actually planning and they are taking steps. That was a road accident. Around, it has been said that over to 11 minutes, for 2 minutes, 11 people die every 2 minutes. 11 people dies every 2 minutes. It was recently displayed. So the point you have included was perfect, Vacha. Thank you, Isha.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isha. Next, we have Sumit also, right? Sumit, are you there?
Yes.
Ma'am, Sapna Gupta is here.
Yes. Audible?
Yes, Sumit. Yes, Sumit. Yes, Sumit. Can we start a presentation? Okay,
Yes,
we also
ma'am.
have a participant. Mr. Can you please wait for a minute? Can we complete with Sumit's presentation first? Okay. Okay. So your topic is CM. Okay. 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 Just give me a minute, huh, Sumit? Please, please. Okay. Presentation. This is yours, right, Sumit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which is the first page? This one. This is the first page.
No, ma'am.
Okay. This one. Yes, this one, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Please go for it.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you to Bharat College Arts and Commerce to giving me this opportunity. My topic is CNG versus electric best alternative fuels. First introduction, CNG is also known as a compressed natural gas, is an eco-friendly alternative to gasoline made by compressing natural gas methane down to less than 1% of its volume. CNG fuel is safer than the gasoline and diesels because it's non-toxic and does not contaminate the groundwater. This natural gas is same gas that you use daily to heat your home and water, cook or to stove and even to dry your clothes in a dryer. The use of CNG fuel is become more popular with the both commercial and non-commercial vehicles. Ma'am, next slide. Advantage and disadvantage of CNGs. CNG is clean fuel of natural gas produce very less hydrocarbon emissions that LPG and petrol. CNG is cheaper than the petrol and and it save money also. CNG is goods for car engines. CNG does not harm car engines with happen in LPG. Also, the spark plugs and convert remain goods in CNG. Car runs on both CNG and petrol, so it's option for petrol. Lubrication, it's require less lubrication. CNG is safer than the petrol and diesel. CNG's car tanks are safer and stronger. The disadvantage of CNG's car station have limited availability. So if your count for or state doesn't have CNG station, it is often no use. Indian some state have good CNG station network. CNG tanks required need large space and it's heavy, so it's affect reliability car performance. Ma'am, next slide. The electric car is one powered by an electric motor rather than the traditional petrol, diesel, and engine. This electric motor is powered by recharges battery that can be recharged by common household electricity. How it is work? The operation start when the driver flow the accelerator pedal when will send the signal to the DC conductor in term of amount of power to be delivered in an electric motor. Basically, there are two use of signal. One is used to send the amount of water power need to be supplied. Second is used to signal regarding the amount of power that need to be off or unused. Ma'am, next slide. The advantage of this electric car, an electric car can be a great way you as a consumer to save a lot of money on gases. However, there are so many different reasons why you should invest in electric car in a modern day of technology. The number one is advantage is electric vehicle is there no gas required. One example is a Chevy Bolt electric vehicle is has a battery range of 238 miles, and 40 miles is more than the range of an average compute to work, so you can go to and from work and purely electric power. Disadvantage of electric vehicle, the first disadvantage is to price. Electric car batteries are not cheap and the larger battery is more you will pay. Many electric vehicles start about 1030 before incentives, and even the most affordable model from brand like Tesla can easily exceed $50,000 or even a $60,000. Ma'am, next slide. The best alternative fuels, as you can see in the pie diagram, there in this is pie diagram is on our world. The best the use of fuel is electric, the 31%. Then other also alternative is biodiesel 6%, hydrogen 1%, ethanol 25%, and propane 27%. Ma'am, thank you.
Uh, if I'm not wrong, you're the first one to take this topic, right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Sumit?
Yes, ma'am.
A great congratulations. Since for this topic, only 2 or 3 participants have selected. So this defines your courage that you have selected this topic, and you have absolutely done fabulous job. You have included as I need not be defining, but you have that as such as we have the methane. Yes, it's a topic that is a hot topic related to ethanol also. many government, they have actually many agriculture fields, they are starting with use of ethanol in spite of using petrol. So they are mixing many natural materials, via biogas, many materials, so that they can reduce the economic crisis, that is economic conditions, and we can increase the environment protection. So it was a very good selection. The first, congratulations, and you have presented very well. You have presented very well. Thank you so much. Okay, so moving towards the next, we have the next participant, Mahika, right? 116.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
just a minute. Huh? Just give me a minute, please.
Ma'am, when I will be getting chance?
But just I think uh, after Mahika, will it be okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you, Sapna. So please wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Yes, Mahika, please
Okay,
go for
ma'am, no
it.
problem. Firstly, I would like to wish all the students best of luck. Good afternoon, one and all present here. A very warm welcome to all the judges and my dear colleagues. My code is 116. My topic is population, asset or threat for the growth. Introduction. Next slide, please, ma'am. Thank you. Introduction. Arthur Hope has correctly defined we all worry about the population explosion, but we don't worry about it at the right time. The word population has been derived from the Latin word populatio, which means people. Population has its own pros as well as cons. Next slide, please. Assets, threat for population. Pressure on several resources leads to shortage of jobs, capital, housing, and health services. Second, human actions are increasing and giving rise to global warming and environmental degradation. Third, to earn a living, people are forced to practice illegal activities. Fourth, unemployment leads to a wastage of human resources. Next slide, please. Assets of population are as follows. Number one, larger population means more number of consumers, and this leads to competition and in turn increase in the economy. Rapid population provides more human resources. There is availability of more skilled and educated employees. Now talking about the ways by which we can reduce the population. By providing free education, by delaying the marriages, by adopting one child policy. Next slide, please. Now talking about human resources. People as a resource is a way of referring to a country's working population in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. The population becomes human capital when there is investment made in the form of education, training, and medical care. India's IT revolution is a striking example of how the importance of human capital has come to acquire a higher position than that of the material plant and machinery. Well, like other resources, population is also a resource, a human resource. This is the positive side of the larger population, which is often overlooked, and we only look at the negative side. In fact, human capital is the stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. Population is an asset of the country and not a liability. Now, according to the estimates in a recently released United Nations report, India is expected to add 273 million people by the year 2050. The report has stated that India has an estimated population of 7.7 billion people. The report has highlighted higher fertility rates, growing older population, and migration as few reasons behind the projections of the population growth. Now, conclusion. Population and asset for or growth. That's a good question, and actually a question that cannot be answered easily. I would say it's a little bit both for India, as every coin has two sides. Similarly, the population of India is an asset as well as threat. Right now, the population is a threat for India, but it will be an asset in the upcoming years. If the current manpower is used properly, it will help our country to be a developed country. Looking from this aspect, population has the ability to contribute to the creation of gross national product. Lastly, I would like to conclude with an example. India's Green Revolution is a dramatic example of how the input of greater knowledge in the form of improved production and technology can rapidly increase the productivity of scarce land resources. Thank you so much, everyone, for sparing your precious and valuable time with me. It means a lot. Thank you, Bharat College, for giving all the students such a great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Beta. The start here has been started. I mean, the starting point. It was you have specified yourself. You have specified the serial number. That means you have given the identification of yours. That was absolutely it was great. No student have done right now, right? So this means you have specified yourself. The first thing. The second that I liked was you have specified the asset, that is, I mean, advantages and disadvantages of the population. Then you have mentioned the points that are taking place or that needs to be taken place, and finally you have concluded by defining your disadvantages also. So that was awesome. Uh, Thank you, Beta. So moving towards the next presenter, Sapna.
Yes, ma'am.
Just give me a minute, please. Uh, is this yours?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please start.
A very good afternoon to one and all. Today, my serial number is PPPC107, and I would like to thank Bharat College for providing me this opportunity. My topic is driverless car, a new reality. So, coming to introduction, driverless car is one of the most trending topic in the world, and this project was led by Google. So, can you imagine a car with no driver? Yes, it is possible. But the world's biggest technology company, Google, makes it possible by inventing driverless car. So this project was invented and launched by Google in the development technology field. So what is driverless car? We will understand. So it is a vehicle that can drive itself from one point to another point without a driver. So it can steer itself, it can start itself. And upon command, we have to give command and it will start. So it can accelerate itself and it can stop itself. Next slide, please. How it works. So working of a driverless car is very simple. It is controlled by computers. So the various technologies used like artificial intelligence and Google Maps are combined in this technology. So it requires instructions from humans, and after giving instruction, it will start automatically. So various sensors are involved in this driverless car. So there is a short range radar, long range radar, night vision, which will enhance the vision of the car. LiDAR is also known as the heart of car because it involves 3D mapping of surrounding, dead reckoning sensors, CMSO image sensor, and ultrasound. And what is the reason behind making this car? So there is various errors in the driver while driving the car, which leads to road accident. So nearly one person is killed in road accident every 25 seconds. So that's why the technology, Google thought that we should build a driverless car in such a way that it will help the human. And the advantages are it eliminates the need of driver. There is no need of driver. And due to this, because various drivers like they drink and drive the car, they are always on phone while driving, so there are many chances of road accident. So it reduces the road accident chances. It also reduces the journey time because there is less traffic in this driverless car. And it also eliminates the use of driving license because it is required by the driver. And it also enhances the automatic parking, and it is very environment friendly as it does not cause any harm to the environment. So the conclusion is it is very useful, and also it will not evolve any kind of pollution because the car is very efficient in working and it is eco-friendly. It will not harm the environment, and it is used in the Nevada state, in other countries, and they are on the roads. Okay, thank you so much, and I would like to thank Bharat College for providing this opportunity and We are here to show our talent in presenting the in presentation competition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satya. Thank you so much. The points you have included, actually have included all the points. You have specified all the points. It was great, specifying every phases. That is specifying every phases, including the real world example, statistical calculation, even not including real world example, but also defining the statistical calculation. Very good. Okay, students. So now we are moving towards the end of our session. So I would like to welcome Avinash sir to please propose a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Students, it's a request. Please fill the feedback form. Please fill the feedback form. The link has been provided in the chat box. Do anyone want to say something? Do anyone want to say something? Any query? I mean, any suggestion? Anything? Do anyone want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to
Yes.
thank Bharat College for encouraging us and motivating us, pushing us forward. We learned a lot. So thank you.
Thank you, Varsha. Thank you so much. Yes, and we can have a platform is open for all, right? So, any more students want to say something? They want to add something?
Ma'am,
Ma'am, we
thank you
can't
so
see the link in chat box.
Okay.
The link has been provided in the chat box. The link it has been provided in the chat box. Yes, Bita, you were saying something. 103.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for providing us this opportunity to excel ourselves, to showcase our talents. The all teachers were very friendly. They help us a lot in every queries. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bita. Thank you, Nausheen. Thank you so much. Yes, do anyone want to say something? It's not necessary. Those who have presented, it is only open for them. Yes, yes. Yes,
Hello, ma'am.
yes,
Thank
yes,
you for
Beta.
your judgment on every. You encouraged us with all our positive points every time. Every presentation you encourage with your positive points, all the positive points. You spotted only positive one. You didn't mention our negative points, which will discourage us. Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
you're most welcome. The reason for not defining the negative point is we as a human, we always know what is wrong. We cannot specify directly in front of others, but we know that this is wrong. So that will be manipulated by us only, right? So it's not हमारी कोई जरूरत नहीं है आप बहुत अच्छे थे आप बहुत अच्छे थे yes anyone else okay so we can conclude with our session okay so anyone wants to say something they want to add something no okay so I would like to welcome Avinash sir to please give the formal vote of thanks over to you sir
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Avinash Bangre. I appreciate all the participants for presenting their PPT very nicely. Before concluding PPT presentation activity, I would like to express formal vote of thanks. I would like to thank management of Bharat College, our in-charge principal, Dr. Nitu Kapoor Madam, IQC coordinator, Dr. Savita Panjab Madam, in her absentia. Today's in-charge, Miss Priyanka Madam, and also Yogita Chaudhary Madam. Last but not the least, all the participants without whom the activity would not be possible. Thank you very much.
thank you sir okay students so here we declare that the session is over thank you everyone thank you for joining stay blessed bye everyone